Today I'm going to talk about my history with self-abandonment and what I've been learning. So first off, I want to start with a definition of self-abandonment. It is a psychological pattern where you consistently suppress or ignore your own needs, feelings, and boundaries to please others or avoid conflict. Personally, for me, self-abandonment kind of feels like swallowing my own feelings to avoid pain and discomfort. It also feels like sometimes an incessant voice in my head telling me, I don't want this, but then still just falling in line with other people's whims and desires. I think a lot of people become resentful when they continuously self-abandon, but I think it's been such a long-standing thing for me. It's become my default and just a part of who I am. And so I've never really felt resentment towards other people for my self-abandonment, but I think it has caused me to isolate, especially at different points of my life. When I was younger, I thought that what I was doing was smart because I thought that I was being non-reactive and reasonable. There's a quote by Viktor Frankl that I came across a long time ago. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. I thought that that was brilliant, and it is, but I worked it in such a way in my mind that I weaponized it against myself. Like, no matter what's happening in my environment, what people throw at me, I don't want to do anything that makes me seem like they got a rise out of me, that I'm angry, that I contradict someone unnecessarily and then turns out what I said sounds stupid or people perceive it as stupid. Like, I just never wanted to risk my image in other people's minds at the expense of my own voice. It was always really important being likable to me growing up because my dad prides himself on being very likable, and a lot of people thought that I was like him in that way, that a lot of people just naturally liked me. And it kind of grew to be what I felt was most important about me. And it's different with my dad because I don't, especially now, I mean, he's of course older than me, but like, especially now, he doesn't have any problems like making his opinions known or like his feelings known about a situation or contradicting someone. He does it all the time. Like, I, on the other hand, am like, no, I don't want to do that ever. Like, I have to be like very much in the wrong, I mean, very much in the right, or I will if I'm like paying for something, like receiving a service or a product. If it's not done right, I will say something about that. But when it comes to relationships, like friendships, or, don't even get me started on romantic stuff. It's hard for me to put my perspective first because I really value my relationships to people. I value people in general. I think that's part of the reason I try to mirror people so much, is because I think other people are interesting. I love other people, and I think I've over the years devalued myself to the point where I'm constantly searching for data and evaluation and signals from outside, and my self-trust is just like completely collapsed. I didn't really finish talking about like how I feel like this started. I mean, I wasn't raised in any kind of like extreme way. Obedience was definitely a virtue in my home, and I was the most obedient child. I have two siblings. I just was the one that like never talked back, and I was praised for that. I was an example for that. And it's not that extreme, most children are taught to be obedient. I don't know why it became something I so much latched onto that I became so conflict avoidant as an adult. That's still something I'm trying to figure out. Not that I need to like turn back time and try to figure out what from my childhood made me like this? I think it would be enough for me to just focus on now in my own current adult voice and letting that out more. But still, it's interesting to think about, and that's the one thread that I can find, is that early instilling of the virtue of obedience. Since I've realized that I have a problem with self-abandonment, I've been just really asking myself the questions about, like, how do I heal myself from this? Because I've gone through life so far just like ripping myself apart and putting myself aside, and it just all feels like things are just scattered all over the place, and I don't even know what I really value anymore. I don't have what it feels like. I don't have a voice. I mean, I'm speaking right now. I do have a new bout of motivation to find my voice because of a recent incident. But I've just spent so many years like swallowing what I want to say. And it's like I'm almost afraid of choking, letting things actually come out of my mouth the way they are in my head, the way they are in my heart. It's a daily struggle for me. My identity is not something that I feel I can relax into. The last time I felt clear and secure in an identity is when I was a student. And of course, at that time, you have built-in structure, built-in rules, built-in penalties. And, I just had to do exactly what I was told. Be obedient. I'm so good at that. But outside of that, as an adult, I have to be able to make my own structure. My fulfillment in life depends on it. I have to trust myself to make the rules that make sense for my life and what I value. It's funny that my habit started as a way to guarantee that I was liked, because I feel like the only thing that it's guaranteed is that I'm actually forgettable, even to myself. It's sad. I don't know what makes me me. I know I like to think a lot, but do I express those thoughts? Often not. And I think that the self-trust that I've lost about my own truth has spread outward to the other parts of my life, like not trusting myself to do habits, not trusting myself to do projects, not trusting myself to see myself through to a future version of a long-term goal. And it's just like finding my own truth is just so foundational to that. I've been processing this for a little bit now. I kind of ebb and flow over time on how committed I am to finding my voice again. Sometimes it's just like the chaos of life. Sometimes it's entering new friendships or trying to enter new relationships when it makes me emotional to think about, because I love myself, but it's just like the core of who I am. And then everything else just feels ephemeral. And I just feel like I can't build my life on this current concept of myself. I think dating has been a big catalyst for me to really figure out who I am, because going into relationships without knowing who you are it's self-destructive. At the very worst, it's self-destructive, and at the very least, it's just unproductive. I think my desire for more connection in that area has kind of ignited this in me, and I just want to speak and open my mouth and have my truth come out and be secure in knowing that no matter how others react, that's okay. Because this is my life, this is my voice, and I have to take ownership. And it's so simple, but it has been so hard for me. I'm so yielding, I'm so agreeable. I just value connection with other people so much that I don't know, I get lost. And there's probably some poor childhood wound or something that I could draw that back to, but I don't know what that would even be. I don't really think that that's that important. I just have to deal with the adult I am now and find a vision of the adult I want to be and make sure that what I'm accepting for myself in my life, what I'm accepting in my behavior, what I'm accepting in my speech, what I'm accepting in my heart is aligned with that vision. It's so interesting thinking about the way I've tried to bend myself around the ideals of others, because I have to remember that what I think people want from me only exists in my head. It does not exist in reality, and it does not even exist in the brains of other people. In fact, it's more likely to exist in reality because, I might act it out, but that I can't know what other people want. I shouldn't care. Well, to a certain extent, we're social creatures, and also if someone's like in my life, I would care what they think to some extent. But I can't let that overshadow how much I care about my own self-honesty. I cannot do that anymore. I cannot afford to do that anymore. But I think that I've spent so long just trying to understand myself cerebrally that I know that that's not enough. I need to start speaking. I need to start doing. So I was really planning for this channel to be like a video essay channel, and I've been overwhelmed for months trying to figure out how to like make good video essays, and I'm just like, I'll probably never know, but this is more needed for me right now. I need to be comfortable expressing myself, and I want to keep it simple. I just want to sit here and talk and see what kind of things come up.